It is officially the first day of winter, and you know what that means. Weezer is capping off their season's EPs with Winter, the last season of the year, right before the holidays. Now, Weezer has kind of exceeded my expectations for what I was expecting when it came to these Four Seasons EPs, because, you know, they have a history of kind of, you know, being real up and down. They'll release one or two really good projects, and then the next one or two, or maybe even three, you're kind of left underwhelmed or just really hating. And I thought after last year, when they released OK Human and Van Weezer in the same year, which those albums are both good, then I thought maybe, just maybe, one of these EPs, or multiple, will see them take a step down. And I gotta say, from the spring, summer, and autumn EP, they've actually been pretty consistent, and this is the fourth EP this year with 7 tracks on it to finish the year off with Winter. Now, obviously all these EPs have a different sound, and I think that's what's made them the most interesting, is you don't really know what to expect coming into these EPs here. And from when I was listening to it, it kind of sounds like some of the stuff Weezer used to do sound like the Green album mixed with what they do now, and also throwing a little bit of like Jingle Bells in there and shit. It's very intriguing, and for the most part, I didn't find myself disliking any of the 7 tracks. I feel like all of them are past blown away. The one that I was kind of, you know, up and down with was Iambic Pentameter, but that one still, I think, is more catchy than I give it credit for. Which leaves the other 6 tracks as my absolute favorite. I Want a Dog was the song they released before this EP to kind of tease what to expect. The song Basketball is pretty cool. Then we have Sheraton Commander, Dark Enough to See the Stars, which is actually a funny song because that song starts off with Rivers Cuomo basically saying how he wish he wasn't here and God must have been high when he, you know, brought him into this world. I thought that was, you know, very Rivers Cuomo of him lyric-wise, but nonetheless, it's a very, very cool song. Then we have The One That Got Away and The Deep and Dreamless Sleep, which is the longest song on this EP. I feel like the last tracks on these EP have been the longest ones and the more atmospheric, and what this track does is it kind of, you know, eases you out of the EP, and it's basically, you know, concluding the whole thing. And with Weezer this year, even though they're just EPs, they're not necessarily albums, this is the best string that they have had in a while of just releasing projects that keep getting more interesting as they go, because they always seem to like put out this one really good project and then take this real left turn for something that not necessarily doesn't fit them too well, but that they just shouldn't be doing. It just feels like they're you know, grasping at straws to try anything. But this was a nice little experiment because, you know, these weren't meant to, you know, be out there to the mainstream. It was more, you know, we're just going to do this, we're going to have the song that I guess defines it with the single, kind of similar to what they did with OK Human, where it wasn't necessarily the, like, mainstream album, but they put a single out to kind of say, hey, this is what this album is going to be, and that is the one thing that they did with OK Human and these 4 EPs, is finding the definitive song that they want to define these EPs. And with Winter, this has to be the best one of the 4 EPs. I mean, I've enjoyed all of them, but this one was near perfect, whereas all the other ones were kind of hovering around a 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. This one gets a 4.5 out of 5 for sure. Just most of it from start to finish was absolutely enjoyable, and I think just what stops it from being perfect is the song Iambic Pentameter, because, you know, again, I think it's just the fact that I'm still very 50-50 with it. It starts a little slow but then picks up, but it doesn't really catch my attention all the way. So if it wasn't for that, we'd have a perfect EP here. But 4.5 out of 5 will suffice, and Weezer did a great job this year. So if we don't see them in 2023, I wouldn't be surprised, because they have done a lot since really coming, you know, back to form in 2014, that at this point they deserve a couple of years off. They definitely do, because then they just got off the Hella Mega Tour, which they did last year and a mixture of this year early on. So yeah, they've been really, really busy, and I hope that they continue this upward trend to where they're going. And like I said, for the next record, I'm excited to see what lies ahead there. What color record will it be? Because that seems to be a theme for them in their discography. But no, yeah, that's it for me. You can tell me in the comments below what do you think, and until then, I guess with this being my last review of the year, I'll see you sometime in 2023.